Hey guys, so I got a few requests to do a comparison here of the cameras between the Sony Xperia Z3 with the Sony XZ. So I wanted to actually compare the X Performance and the Z5 as well for a high-end Sony camera comparison here over the years, see if anything's changed. So I was quite interested to see how the Z3 did actually compare here against the XZ. And I have basically kept them on manual because the Z3 can only do 8 megapixel in the manual mode, so it's not really fair. So we're doing the manual mode at 15 megapixel, and you can see we started off here with this shot in my living room, and I have to say, it's very nice here on the Z3. I wouldn't say it is quite as sharp as what you're getting with the other phones, such as the Z5 and the X Performance. I think the XZ is definitely the best here in terms of handling the background kind of exposure. That's where the Z3, shows its age a little bit. A little bit less nice there, but still very nice and clear image here from the Z3. Moving on, we can have a look at another image. So we have this one, which is a HDR backlit shot, and you can see, very nice comparison here between them all. I think the XZ is probably the most effective when it comes to the HDR. You can see these trees are very clearly visible, whereas on the Z3 it is a little bit kind of less detail there. One thing which I have noticed on the Z3 is it doesn't have the weird lens kind of blur that the Z5 had on the edges. They also fix it on the X series, so that's quite good. Moving on, we can have a look at some other images here. So let's move on. You can see this is a nice reflection shot of local river. I think we're zoomed in on this one, so to be honest, there wasn't a massive difference on this image. If I really zoom in here, can you see a massive difference here with the XZ, the latest phone? Maybe if you got your magnifying glass out, I couldn't actually see a massive difference though. So still with the Z5 and the X Performance, still very similar on all of them. So props to the Z3 with this shot, absolutely fantastic for 2016. Moving on, we do have some others as well, such as this flower kind of shot, and this one is obviously a macro shot, and I think this is where you notice a massive difference actually. You can see the amazing bokeh and colors on the XZ here, whereas on the Z3 you don't get quite the nice bokeh and clarity in the background. So that is where Sony's made some massive improvements, I think, with the XZ. I think the X Performance is doing quite well here as well, slightly better than the Z5, but you be the judge in that. I probably rate this shot Z3, Z5, X Performance, and then XZ in terms of quality, but they're all very nice nevertheless. Again, another flower shot here, and you can clearly see, I think the XZ comes with the nicest blur effect in the background, but a bit closer with this one. And another one here. Whoops. And you can see pretty much similar on that one. Not a massive difference. This one capturing autumn very well. And again, you can see, I think the background kind of areas here handled much better on the newer generation device. So I think really, if you're looking at the camera here, the only real difference is the way the bokeh is handled and the low light as well as the background of some shots. They're the main differences. You'll notice a little bit more grain on the Z3 with the lower light shots compared to the XZ. So you can see on the edges here. But generally, I was very impressed with the Z3. I felt that it kept up quite well given the age of the device. But then again, it's kind of like like you know, it's sort of a mixed feeling, because at the end of the day you'd think Sony would, you know, really improve things on from the Z3, but it seems to be very incremental kind of differences here. I think we did a camera comparison between the XZ and the Z3, so you can see the difference here, like the video footage. And I think the main difference really was how smooth and fast the focusing was on the XZ. I could barely get the Z3 to focus on the flower, so I just used my hand instead. You can see it's a very nice smooth zoom on the XZ, which I think, you know, it definitely justifies the price here. I think you have much more improvements when it comes to the predictive autofocus and, you know, the stabilization. So I think the video is a much bigger difference really compared to the pictures. But yeah, you know, to me, I think the Z3 is still done very well here. And if you actually look at the software, you'll notice that there isn't actually that much difference in terms of the software here on all of them. They all have the same kind of, you know, apps. We don't have 4K obviously on the X Performance, which was a bit of a fail. But we do still have a lot of apps on the Z3, as you can see. I think Sony's actually gotten rid of a few for the XZ here. So yeah, just a quick little comparison here then of the camera and software on the Z3 up to the XZ. Hopefully, you know, Sony will improve things. I think we've got a new Sony handsets coming in 2017. They've already got model numbers, so we don't know if they're high-end phones yet, but you know, hopefully we will see some new sensors from Sony, because, you know, I think Sony's being a bit lazy when it comes to using the same sensor every time. But then again, I think it's the software where they really need to improve, because obviously, you know, it feels like some other companies are a bit ahead when it comes to the software. But yeah, just a quick little video. Hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.